about us. Think
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Let's see. Let me get on Instagram here. I think we're live on Facebook and YouTube. All right. I'm getting the notifications. All right. See Ray's in here. Hello, Ray. Roel. Debbie's traveling to the UK. Okay. Debbie, can we take care of any questions at the beginning for you since you're traveling? D. Lim, what's up? Coal miner's daughter. I like it. 5x5. Nice. Nice. I see that. Thank you, team. Ivy, what's up? How are you? Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Gosh, I'm stuck on the Taco Tuesday thing now. It's hard for me to think of having anything else after the show. Tacos. Bianca, Stan, what's going on? Great to see you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. Doc is in the building. He will be here shortly. Make sure, kind of keep me posted, guys, with how we're looking. It does seem we're in a bit of a storm here in East Tennessee, which is honestly pretty welcomed. The rain's kind of nice. I'm looking out over it now. What's going on Instagram? I see everybody in here. Amanda, what's up? Kendra, what's up? What's up? Good to see everybody. Hope you guys stick around. I'm going to be answering questions. Carrie's girl, it is rainy. It's rainy. It's rainy in Knoxville too. Carter, what's going on? Great to see you. Great to see you. Thanks for being with us tonight, as always. Happy Tuesday. Oh gosh, Chipotle is my jam. If I were to show you guys my credit card statement, Chipotle would be on there quite a bit. That and K-Brew for all those who are in Knoxville. All right. If you guys got a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. We're going to let a few more people come in here, and then we're going to get to the live show. I think everything is good. You guys can see me okay. Keep me posted on how we're doing here. We'll see if the internet stays working. Roel, thank you, man. Thank you so much for purchasing a vitamin. I hope everything went smoothly. I know that made Katie and Carter super, super happy. We've been so pleased with the new site. Huge shout out to Ben, who we worked with, developed it, Cumberland Marketing. They've been great to work with, but it's been awesome. If you guys have not checked out the new website, please do. It's super cool. It's super cool, super easy to kind of navigate around. Lots of good information. Also, coffee is right, Carter. Coffee is right. Any time of the day. Any time of the day. All right, cool. Thank you. Michelle, what's up? And Kava, that's right. That is right. Kava has been a regular. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the kind words. Yes, Amber is absolutely incredible. That entire office in King Sports, just unbelievable. They're so great. They are so great. Thank you for the kind words. All right, I think Doc is getting ready. Thank you. Thank you, Roel. We're more of that. There's definitely going to be more of that, especially for the crew here that's with us live. We're going to try to run as many cool specials as possible for you guys. Thank you, Grandma Mary. I did this for you. I had the hat on, but then, I said, Grandma Mary wants to see my face. Is Doc ready to roll? What's going on, man?
You're good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Guys, is our sound okay? I'm trying something new with the sound. It could be a little much. You guys hear Doc as well as me okay? Can you hear me okay, Doc?
I can hear you great. I can hear you great.
You sound
But
awesome.
your hair looks slightly greasy tonight. Is that some new style you're doing, or
If a
I
style,
like it. Looks kind of Hollywood, but I didn't know if you're particular what was going on with it.
this is me.
Has it been raining outside? Have you been out in the rain?
No, you know what's funny is I learned from Andy just to not wash my hair as much as I was. So I don't wash my hair very often. So it probably is a little greasy. But his hair
Usually Andy gives good advice, but I'm not sure about that one.
I took it to the extreme. And I'm not washing my hair a lot, and but it does seem to, it's like a natural, natural gel.
Are you going to take it a step farther and not wear deodorant like Matthew McConaughey?
No, I can't go that far. I can't go that
You know,
far.
You can use deodorants without aluminum. That's what I try to do. I never use aluminum in the deodorant.
What's your go-to deodorant for no aluminum?
It's called natural.
You know what? Actually, speaking along those lines, I did a podcast episode with Robin Riddle on Explain This, and I asked her about water filters, and because she's super into kind of, what are they? It's not greenwashing, but like where you like plastics, parabens. So she's very particular, and asked her about
forever chemicals.
Yeah. And I was asking her what water filter does she recommend, and I didn't think about it because I've been using a Brita, but it made so much sense. She said you're filtering water, but then putting it back into a plastic container, so it's filtered water, but still in a plastic container.
Yeah, it needs to be in a glass container.
It needs to be in a glass
or metal. Yeah.
So she told me about this thing called I think it's called Life Fizz Life. It's like a thing you put on your faucet, and you just get filtered water come out of your faucet. So I'm gonna try that. That's my
good.
So Robin's in here. Robin, do you remember this? Do you remember our conversation? We were talking about the water filters, and I've been using the wrong one. I've been, filtering my water, trying to be clean.
Yeah, the Brita doesn't take all the fluoride and chlorine out of it and all that. I used to have one of those too.
So I'm fixing my ways. Thank you, Robin, for putting me on the right path. Now the only Fizz Life, there it is. The only thing is, I'm not the greatest around, fixing things or setting things up. So Robin says it's easy. I'm gonna maybe easy for a lot of people in here, but maybe pretty difficult for somebody like me. But I'm going with Fizz Life. Fizz Life's the new thing.
You can always get some help to do that.
I feel like I should try it. Okay. Is Instagram losing? Courtney, are we out on Instagram? Are we okay on Instagram, guys? I see April's in here. April, what's going on? Great to see you. It was so good to hang out with you yesterday. Doc, you about ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Look at this. We got Pit Liqueur deodorant. Okay. So we're going.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
We've got
That's one Ben Curtis likes, I believe.
Ben C. I'm pumped about Ben C. Ben C's going to be over here and on Friday. We're going to throw a little party for him. Kristen, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, guys, if y'all have questions for Doc, go ahead and put them in the comments. And we're we're live. Cool. Thank you, Carter. All right, you ready to roll, Pop?
Yeah.
All right, let's see this one right here.
I've been ready while you're making all this small talk. I've been ready.
I had some things on my mind. I had to.
All right.
I had to talk it out. Any tips on safely gaining weight? Lost weight from being sick after a bad case of flu A in January and needing to gain back to normal weight. I'm not making any headway.
It's hard to gain weight. I'll tell you, it's probably harder for those that need to gain weight than it is for people that need to lose weight. it takes a long time to gain muscle. At least muscle it is. And certain genetic factors weigh in there, metabolic factors. But um, to gain muscle, I mean, that takes work with heavy weights and a lot of lifting. So I always promote, good fats and protein. And you can probably eat carbs too. Just don't get the high glycemic ones, um, and lift weights and maybe take some creatine. I like creatine. I think most people should be on creatine. It doesn't cause kidney problems, and you don't need to load with it. Just take 5 grams a day in powder form. But that's safe. I mean, it's safe. You don't need to go eating junk food because it's inflammatory. I mean, you could gain weight, but by eating Twinkies and just set your body on fire. So avoid sugars and make sure your gut's working good, but just slowly increase the amount of calories, especially protein. Lift weights, take some creatine. A good guy to get you on a weight gaining plan is Lucas Smith.
Yeah.
He's done that with a lot of my patients that were just hard gainers. I've been one that's been kind of a hard gainer in the past. But everybody's metabolism is different. So try those things and be patient.
Yeah, one thing I learned from both Robin and Lucas is, if you're not tracking how much protein you're eating, you're probably not getting enough. You really do need to be intentional with it.
Very true.
So thank you so much for that question. I hope you start to feel better, and hopefully that helps a little bit. And if there's anybody here with us live who have had some success with gaining weight, go ahead and put in the comments kind of what's
there's something if you're older and you need to gain weight, there's something I put people on called Elder Tonic. I put a patient on that last week. And the other things, if your appetite's poor, CBD may help. Certainly, the real stuff, if you're in a state that has it legalized for medical use, you can use that for asthenia, people that have wasting syndrome. So it just depends on how severe it is, but there's ways to get it back on.
Super interesting. I see this from Roel. Thank you, Roel. Whole mic. That's interesting. Anybody else have something that has worked for them? I'm going to put this up. Jasmine's in here, our esthetician in West Knoxville. Jasmine, so good to see you. I'm going to put this up just because Jasmine took one for the team last week. You can see her there. She's getting some treatment there from Kelly and Emily. Do the Virtue RF and the Cool Pill combo. You guys got to watch this. What a great video. Shout out to the video team. And shout out to Jasmine. Jasmine took it for the team there. She did amazing. Great job, Kelly and Emily.
She doesn't even look nervous, does she?
She wasn't even nervous. She was like, it's just another day. Thank you, Jasmine, for doing that. What a cool video. All right, let's keep moving here. Love this question around magnesium. This came up last week. I learned last week from my question to Andy that there's actually 1,200 milligrams total of magnesium in 3 capsules of the Dr. Rogers magnesium. I have always heard that we should take 500 milligrams of magnesium. So the question is, should we only take 1 or 2 of the capsules? What they're referring to is the Dr. Rogers magnesium. And
it's 2 capsules to meet the recommended dose, but I think it's 200 milligrams if you get the 2 capsules that we recommend. The thing about it, there's a lot of different types of magnesium, so it depends on which types you're taking. The ones I chose to put in there: magnesium malate, threonate, and glycinate. And those are 3 that really are more for brain health than anything. If you're constipated, then you might want to take more of one that has magnesium citrate or maybe succinate in it, or maybe Mag-Ox as well. I mean, all of them are good, but this one is, the doses we put in there, they kind of have a synergistic effect. So it's really not the milligrams, it's the kind of magnesium you put in it. And I did a lot of research. I talked with the pharmacists at Freedom to Formulate and came up with this particular combination that seems to work pretty well for brain health. Again, if you're taking it for constipation, or you might want to just take a different form and go higher on it. You always know you're taking too much if you get diarrhea from it, because eventually you'll get diarrhea if you take too much magnesium, especially citrate and succinate. But great question, though. Very good question. Many people ask me that.
Is a serving 2 or 3? I thought it was 3 capsules for a serving.
At least for the 3. I'll have to look on the bottle. I need to look on the bottle.
Let's get to Bianca here. She's asking about it. So I'm still confused. So take all 3 capsules or just 2 a day for brain, bones, not constipation?
Yeah, I was thinking it said 2 capsules at night, but it may be 3. I'll have to look at the bottle. If it says 3, take the 3. And you can take that on an empty stomach. So I think it may be 3, come to think of it.
She's saying it says 3 on the bottle.
3. Okay. Take the 3. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, Bianca, does that help? Did we unconfuse? Let us know. We'll keep talking about it if we need to. All right, let's keep moving here. Let's go to let's see. Make sure with Bianca. Okay, cool. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you. All right. This is a bit of a longer question, so let me get through it here. I'm a 39-year-old, super healthy, active female, no allergies, no conditions. Question is, if I drink more than 3 units of alcohol the next day, exactly 24 hours after the first drink, my skin/muscles are extremely sore, especially from the neck to the belly button, unbearably so. It's almost as if it's mimicking acute pancreatitis. No doctors have been able to help. What kind of specialist should I seek out to get to the bottom of this? And then it goes on to say, of course, I simply cannot drink, but would like to understand if there's a deeper problem here. What's your thoughts on this? This was interesting.
That's a really interesting statement. It's really interesting about alcohol, the way it's metabolized. And everybody's a little different, but you need an enzyme called alcohol, or really ethanol dehydrogenase, that breaks down the alcohol. And I think there's 2 different types of that. There's a 1 and a 2, if I recall this right. Again, it's been a while since I've looked at it, although I did read an interesting article a few weeks ago, actually in the Wall Street Journal. They always put great articles in there. And it was talking about how much is too much. And that's a different little article than what you're talking about here. But really, in any form, alcohol is not good for you. There's just nothing good that's going to come out of it at all, really. It's, it makes you feel relaxed and all. And most people drink. I drink some, you do, you drink beer. And so it's really interesting about this enzyme. They're really, alcohol intolerance is a different thing than alcohol allergy. It sounds like you may have alcohol allergy. It's kind of unusual that it takes 24 hours. So it may be like a delayed food sensitivity, except it's not food. But the more common thing is an alcohol intolerance. And that's, say you drink wine and you get flushed. And usually it does pretty soon. It doesn't wait 24 hours. That's what makes me think you don't have that condition. But alcohol intolerance is more genetic. You don't have enough of this alcohol dehydrogenase to metabolize and break down the alcohol into, I think there's 2, acetaldehyde and vinegar, basically. You really want to break more of it down into the vinegar because it's not as toxic as the other form of this. But a lot of times that's genetic. Females don't have as much of that enzyme as males do. That's why they say that females need to drink less than males do. But this article is just pointing out about the increased rates of cancer with alcohol. especially in people that drank it too fast. Now, it sounds to me like you may have more of an allergy to alcohol, which is more of an immune problem.
Hmm.
It's not as common, but sometimes you do get severe stomach pain. Um, it's unusual that's so delayed for you, but it could be. So when you have an alcohol allergy problem, it's almost like your own immune system. In your case, it sounds like a delayed reaction is reacting, kind of like when I talked about mast cell activation syndrome. It may be related to MCAS. So you might want to go back and look at my podcast on MCAS. There's some things you can do for that. But it can be a more serious problem than just the intolerance, the allergy. Obviously, if you don't drink, it's not going to happen. But if you're wanting to get to the root cause of the problem, and again, you can always see an allergist, immunologist, and they may be able to dig a little deeper. It may require some genetic testing. The cure sounds simple, no alcohol, but again, I understand you wanting to get to the bottom of it. And sometimes it's caused by an ingredient in the drink that you drank. It'd be interesting to see what different types of drinks did this to you. Whether it's beer, it's wine, it's gin, it's vodka. If it's everything, if it's just the ethanol in there that's causing that, you could even do a patch test and put some ethanol on a gauze and tape it on your arm for 10 minutes and see if you break out with it. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to distinguish between intolerance and allergy. But so you got to start thinking about your immune system. It'd be interesting to see if you had any other allergic reactions. Usually if you have MCAS, you're going to have all kinds of problems with different things. That's the person that's allergic to multiple medications, and it doesn't sound like you are. Now, something that I tell people that have more intolerance, they don't have enough of that enzyme, which is a completely different problem, I would think, but you may try this, is taking NAC, 1,200 milligram of NAC, N-acetylcysteine, to see if that would help about an hour before you drink, just to see if that help prevent that. It's a real interesting problem.
That's interesting.
And there's a lot of things you could probably test out, like taking an H1 and an H2 blocker, Pepcid and a Zyrtec, maybe even adding in Singulair. That's a really interesting problem that could be worked out. But again, like that article in the Wall Street Journal said, no alcohol is really good for you.
Yeah.
So
well,
interesting.
I think the good thing, and one thing that you always coach all of us on is trying to see, okay, I feel this way and it's because I drank alcohol or I had a pizza. So like it seems like they've gotten to what's causing the soreness, which is I would imagine a big part of it. And then like you said, you gave some great stuff, like maybe NAC.
I could understand you're wanting to find it out further, and if you really can't find an answer, you experiment around. You might see an allergist immunologist but call them before you go, because a lot of them just not going to want to dig into that.
Yeah.
You have to go to one of the centers, like a research center on this. Really interesting. Let us know what happens.
Yeah. Keep us updated, and would be interesting if it's an ingredient that's in alcohol that, some people, have reactions to beer, but not, to maybe like a vodka or something like that.
Or wine. They have sulfites and things like that. But it's interesting.
Great question. Thank you so much for sending that in. We're going to keep moving, and guys, we're going to get to the live comments here in a second. Todd's getting some love back there. I guess he left now. He was right behind you, Pop.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
All right. Thank you, Lynn K. We're going to get to that question just shortly. If y'all have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. This is a question around a probiotic. What are your thoughts for using the OTC Pro antibiotics Align for digestive issues? I have been using it for a month. I have IBS. People are complimenting me on the weight loss, stomach not as bloated, as well as I'm no longer having issues going to the bathroom. Wanted your opinion on whether or not this is good as like a long-term use. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a line is one of the more popular over the counter probiotics. You know, it's not a real potent one, but if it's helping you, I'm fine with it. Some people think that every year or two you ought to switch the type of probiotics that you use to kind of you're trying to create diversity in your gut microbiome, which is always good. And so by switching, you're introducing different beneficial bacteria into your gut. You know, I've always, of course, I'm a Digest Shield person, which is just a wonderful, wonderful gut product. I had somebody today that just cleared their gut with Digest Shield, which has a lot more than just a probiotic. It has prebiotics, more probiotics, 11 different types. It has digestive enzymes. It has chitosan, which is an interesting product. The folks at NutriShield are coming up with a more of a mushroom chitosan product. And then you really don't need to do a podcast on that, but that promotes weight loss and fat breakdown. But also the Digest Shield has lactase to block down dairy, and it also blocks down lectins, which are the plant protein that are in beans that cause a lot of problems with digestion in some people. But you know, if it's working for you, then I'm all for it. I like probiotics for sure. I'm big on them.
That's a great question. You
Keep
do
it up.
say, yeah, you do say that a lot. Like, you know, if something's working, you know, don't mess around too much with it. So great question there. Thank you for sending that in. Out of curiosity, you mentioned diversity in the gut with probiotics. Does the fact that it has 11 different probiotics, is that what makes Digest Shield something kind of cool from the
Yeah,
diversity?
I mean, yeah, it does. It does. You don't need just a few. You need a lot of it.
All right, great topic there. Love talking about probiotics and gut health. Thank you so much for that question. I believe that does it for the ones that came in through email throughout the week. I'm just double checking myself now. If I missed you, you can shoot me an email, ben@performancemedicine.net, or you can put your question in the comments. We'll get to it live here in just a second. All right, let's get to it, guys. If y'all have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. Real quick, I'm going to put this up just because I thought my sister Kelly did an incredible job on the Common Sense MD talking about toning your body, talking about body contouring. Specifically, y'all talked about the Evolve machine as well as the Physique radio frequency versus laser. I thought that was a wonderful episode. It was cool to see you guys jive. So thank you, Kelly, for doing that for us. And real quick, we had a brand new episode of Dive Into Diet with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt, talking about lower-ish carb fruits. Shout out to the creative team on the ish, because yeah, I mean, there's still fruit and there's still some carbs in there. But Lucas does a great job of telling us what fruits aren't that bad from a carb standpoint. So I hope you guys got to check those out. Please do if you haven't. Doc, you ready?
Sure.
Let's do this. All right, guys, put it in the comments if you got a question for Doc. Let's see, where are we at? If I can find a question, hopefully. Let's see. Am I missing? Gotcha. Kristen, thank you, Kristen. Can't wait to see Robin for my GI. I know you mentioned, but I forgot what methylene blue brand you use, and we might have gotten that in the comments. I believe Carter might have gotten to that. But real quick, Doc, what brand, what methylene blue do you like?
Gosh, we ordered that methylene blue. God, I have to look. I'm not sure. Katie or Carter can look it up and flash it on there. I'm not sure what. There it is.
Hopefully this helps.
So I don't know the brand. What's the brand, Ben?
It's BPH.
Oh, BPH.
BPH. Thank you, Carter. All right. Thank you, Kristen. I hope that helps. Okay. We're going to keep going to Lynn K. How to take creatine, powder or capsules after workout? Which brand is non-toxic? What's your thoughts on this?
I like the Dr. Rogers brand. We have it made for us, and it's creatine monohydrate powders are one we form. It's just better absorbed. Um, you can take it before or after your workout. It really doesn't matter. I don't think. You asked me that the other day, Ben. When should you
Yeah.
take yours? I think as long as you take it daily, I think it works. And you don't have to load up. The thing is, just take it every day. Um,
I see Katie's in here. Katie, what's going on? Great to see you. $30 is on sale right now on the brand new site. So thank you for putting that in there, Katie. Performance
that one bottle will last you forever too. Sure.
30 bucks on the creatine. I believe that's still live, isn't it, Katie? I think that's live and in the office. Cool. All right. Thank you, Katie. We're going to keep moving. I hope that helps, Lynn K. Let's go. I want to put this up from Tom. Get the least healthy breakfast sandwich at Wendy's, eat several Belvita cookies throughout the day, and have some ice cream after dinner. In all seriousness, this will make yeah, that's true. I love it.
Is that on the weight gain question? Or?
I believe that was on the weight gain. So Tom's giving us some weight gain advice, and that'll do it, Tom. That'll definitely do it. Roel, thank you. Okay, it's whole milk, not whole bite.
That's what I thought. I thought whole milk, yeah.
Whole milk. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's get to Donnie over on YouTube. How do you know if testosterone levels are low? And is there any way to boost it naturally? Such a great question.
Sure. Great. Here's how you know if your testosterone level's low, besides getting a blood test and checking a free testosterone, is just what symptoms you have. I go more by symptoms than I do a blood level because, again, it changes, by the hour. But if it's consistently low, especially the free testosterone, that's the part that actually works, which is only about 3% of your total testosterone. So you may have a total of 500 or 600, but a free very low. You may have a high sex hormone binding globulin, or you may be aromatizing a lot of it to estrogen. But your levels are low if you're having symptoms like low libido, you can't build muscle, you're tired, you're depressed, you don't sleep well, you ache a lot. All those common symptoms of low T that we see every day in males and females. So the first thing is the symptoms, and then get the blood levels to kind of see where you are, because we follow them after we put you on either testosterone or a booster, or maybe even Clomid. But boosted naturally, I always say zinc is a good thing. Lifting weights, boost it naturally. Getting a good night's sleep, treating your sleep apnea can do that. And there's other pro hormones that you could try. There's all kinds of you can get. I don't think they boost it as much as the real stuff or things like Clomid. A lot of it depends on your age, what all your levels look like. If you're young, we always want to check a prolactin level and an LH, maybe an FSH, to see, if it's primary or secondary hypogonadism. Primary means your testicles aren't working. Secondary means the signal from your brain to your testicles to make testosterone is not working. So, with hormone levels, hormones are complex. You have to know what you're doing with it. And then once you boost the levels, you have to follow it and know what you're doing. But it's very safe in the hands of people that do it a lot and know what they're doing. But try the zinc, try the weightlifting. There's all kinds of other little stuff that may help you. Maca is one of them. There's several other herbal stuff that don't come to mind, but horny goat weed, which is a funny name. But try those things and see, and get your levels checked.
Yeah, I love this question, Donnie. Thank you so much for putting it in there. And one, because there's a lot of strategy around hormones that I don't think people talk enough about. So please, if y'all have questions around the strategies, this is the perfect place to do it. Donnie, thank you so much for teeing us up on that. Great answer there, Doc. But zinc is one. Zinc is, I hear that every time you get this question, you always mention zinc first, as far as from a natural standpoint. And if you're on hormones, you always say get on zinc as well.
And lose weight. You know, a lot of times if
Yeah.
you're overweight, you're aromatizing your testosterone to estrogen. So
Yeah.
you don't want that.
And one of the biggest symptoms I see people talk about with low testosterone is, and everybody can kind of relate, but when you get home and you sit on the couch and you just don't want to get back up. You know, you just kind of sink into the couch, and that's typically a decent indicator for men. All
Or
right,
if you
thank
have
you,
sleep
Bonnie.
apnea too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay, let's keep moving. If you guys got a question, go ahead and put in the comments. I'm looking at Instagram as well. So if you guys got questions over here on Instagram, go ahead and put it in the comments and I'll get to that. Let's get to the next one here. Where am I at? Let's get to Danny. Thank you, Danny. So good to see you. I had labs, kidney function was 45. I stopped taking creatine. I broke my ankle before surgery. Labs revealed kidney function up to 56. Do you think creatine caused low kidney function? It's a great question.
no, I don't. You know, shouldn't unless you're way, way overdoing it. You know, with a lot of medicines, uh, the dose is the poison. I mean, you could overdo anything, but you know, more than likely, you may have been taking too many non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, or you're dehydrated. That's interesting. So you're saying your creatinine clearance was 45, which is getting low. Below 60 is kind of defined as low. But there's a lot of different things that can affect it. Your blood pressure. That's interesting. So you broke your ankle, and then your before surgery labs revealed I don't know. Um, it could have been a one-off. It could have been a red herring. You know what I mean by red herring, Ben?
I've heard you say that. A red herring is like an exception. An
Yeah,
exception.
it's something that just doesn't make any sense. It's just not right. This is a funny story, but true story. I've told it many times, but one time a lab came back on one of my patients, and it didn't make any sense at all why that patient would have a lab like that. And so I told my nurse to call the patient. I think it may be a red herring that will repeat the lab. So she calls the patient and tells the patient, I heard her, Dr. Rogers said to eat more red herring fish. So she got it completely wrong. That's a true story. But anyway, it could have been a one-off. Here's another interesting thing that I've found. In people that work out a lot, that have a lot of muscle, you know, your creatinine clearance may be low because of muscle volume. So if I suspect that, I always get a blood test called a cystatin C, and that gives you a corrected creatinine clearance based on really on your muscle. So it's a much more accurate creatinine clearance than one you may see. I know Robin's seen that a million times, but yeah, that's interesting. So creatine is not supposed to mess up your creatinine. It just shouldn't do it.
And Danny, I do think we did a podcast episode on creatine a while back. It talks a little bit about that because there is some stigma around creatine, and I think
Yeah.
you talked a lot about kidney function in that
Yeah.
episode. You can find it. The article to it is on our website and on YouTube. If you just search creatine performance medicine, it should
Yeah.
show up. Great question. Thank you, Danny.
Great
All
question.
right. I see Ryan's in here. Ryan, thank you. Thank you. Check. Let's get to Danny. Okay. I was taking 1 scoop a day as on ON recommends. The lab 6 months prior was 52. I do work out regularly. Okay. Does that give any
Good.
context?
Yeah. Next time you get that checked, if you work out, get in addition to a metabolic panel, a CMP, get a cystatin C. Write that down. Just tell them to do a cystatin C, and I'll bet you it'll be great.
Thank you, Danny, for the context there. You know, Ryan's in here. Did you know Ryan found the medallion?
He did?
He
Wow,
found the
that's
medallion.
unfair.
I've been,
Wow.
Fun Fest was this past week, in Kingsport, which is huge deal to Kingsport. It's one of our favorite weeks of the year, so I've been hearing about the medallion since I was like a kid, and I've never known anybody to find the medallion. Have you?
I haven't either. A lot of people search, and it's hard. They give a riddle that's so hard to solve. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's-
Ron must be a brainiac type
yeah,
person to solve that.
Ryan, you must be a genius. He must
I
be a
think he
genius.
may be. I think he may be. He plays guitar too. He's a good guitarist.
Anybody enjoy Fun Fest this week? Is there any Fun Festers in the live tonight? Let us know.
We
Let's get to
saw the
Lynn.
Goo Goo Dolls. The Goo Goo Dolls played.
Were they good?
Yeah, Philip Phillips played. He came and played pickleball that morning.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm,
awesome. That's
mhm.
awesome.
I didn't play with him, but
I didn't think you played with them.
Willa was right beside him. Willa.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He just came
Uh,
in as pickleball
uh,
player.
let's see for Lynn K here. After Doc's great video on low oxalate diets for kidneys, I'm doing it. I'm a stone maker and have my family on dialysis and kidney. Okay, cool. That's a great comment there, Lynn K. I hope that helps.
Yeah, great. Wonderful. A lot of people should stay away from oxalates,
Yeah.
they haven't been told that. But
The thing about oxalates is it's kind of, confusing is that it's in a lot of healthy foods,
spinach, yeah. And a lot of people with not only kidney stones, but digestive problems should try a low oxalate diet.
I see Carol. Carol went to Fun Fest. It's awesome. That is awesome. Let's get to Diane's question here. IV therapy for hydration with vitamins are becoming popular outpatient. This is very true.
Yeah.
What are the best times to do this? What is done at your clinic? So what Diane's referring to is there's a ton of, IV places coming up, and one, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, we've been doing it for years. It's great. The time to do it, like I do them if I'm feeling really tired, wasted, if I've taken a plane trip and just am dehydrated, or if I'm just jet lagged, or if I'm sick. When I had a mild case of COVID, I got a Myers, I think 5 straight days. Katie gave it to me and
Yeah.
felt great. You had it too. You've had many Myers. Myers is the best cocktail, I think, for making you feel better. And again, we have a lot of different cocktails. Sometimes we just give fluids if you're dehydrated, normal saline. But a lot of times we do higher dose vitamin C, just different combos of vitamins. I think we have one that we use. It's called a banana bag for speaking about intoxication for hangovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how quickly you will feel good, with an IV therapy. And just some people do it once a month. Some people do it just depending on their lifestyle. I like a lot of executives do it because they're really stressed out. If you're tired, if you don't eat right, if you've got brain fog. One day, I can tell you by personal experience, they do work. I don't know what was the matter with me that morning, but I hadn't slept well, and I got up and it's never happened to me before. I just could not hardly move. I didn't think I was going to be able to get out of bed. I don't know why, but I felt awful. I had a you know, a office full of patients waiting for me to come that day. And I told Jenny, I don't think I can even go into the office today. I have to cancel my patients. But then I thought, well, let me try and see if Katie will give me an IV Myers. And I'm not kidding you. I went down to the office. I had to actually get help to walk up the stairs into my back door. It never happened to me before in my life. I don't know what it was, but in a half hour after getting that Myers cocktail, I was raring to go. It was just incredible. So it can be dramatic. It cannot be as dramatic, but we do IV vitamins for a lot of things.
Yeah, that's wild.
Um,
That is wild.
yeah.
I agree, Carter. I agree. No, and huge shout out to Katie there. But that is wild. It picks you up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
With this one in particular, because Diane might be talking about I know they do. There's like, specific vitamins you can get through IV. Is there anything I know?
We'll try to get a list out. We'll get a list of printed of what IVs we're doing right now, and we're doing them at all the offices. So just call ahead of time so we mix them up fresh. But yeah, I mean, wonderful therapy that people don't really take advantage of as much as they should, I think. Say,
I
for example, you're doing too much yoga, you're worn out from yoga, then you need an IV.
Mom, is that you? Uh,
She and Diane does yoga too, I think. Uh,
I love it. Thank you so much for that question, Diane. I hope that helps. Okay, where are we at? Let's see here. Yeah, that's right, Katie. We need to put that on the website. Just kind of breaking it out because that is.
is that not on our website, our new website?
I don't know if IVs are.
Boy, if they aren't, we need to get that on there.
We need to get that on there. Let's get to Mark here. Diane, I got to put this up from Diane. So Diane she's a yogi. That says it. There you go.
She's a very good teacher.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I was looking at Mom in the green room. Mom's a yogi herself. Okay. Here, Mark's asking, a recent study shows GLP-1 receptor agonists have anti-inflammatory properties that may reduce airway inflammation and improve obstructive sleep apnea.
That's exactly right.
It goes on to say, I think 39 million Americans have used GLP-1 receptor agonists, with an estimate 80 million Americans affected by obstructive. Okay, I'm reading the same thing. Will everyone be on a GLP-1? So I guess the question, Mark, if I'm reading it right, is everybody going to end up being on a GLP-1 with all these? The
wonderful things they do. I almost think most people should be. It's crazy to think about all the beneficial things that these GLP-1s do. It was on the news today with there's a link with reduction of Alzheimer's disease with people that are on GLP-1s. And certainly we're seeing that with, obstructive sleep apnea, even before the weight loss. So it's a great anti-inflammatory. I've had people tell me their joints feel better, their migraine headaches are better. And when you add the GIP in there, it's even better. So yeah, sometimes I think they ought to put it in the water. Not that some people may not have a nausea with it, but
it's the water.
It will win the Nobel Prize. There's no doubt that there's going to be more Mounjaro used than any other drug in history. I predict. Yeah. And then there's going to be other ones that come out that are even better than that. But the benefits are just tremendous. Way less heart attacks, less atrial fibrillation, less dementia, reversal of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, reversal of chronic renal disease. I mean, all the GI docs and the nephrologists and the cardiologists are using it, as treatment, as well as, docs like me use it for preventative type things. But yeah, I mean, it's not just a weight loss drug or a diabetic drug. This thing has vast, great things that can happen with it. And you still need to eat right and exercise. Of course, you can't rely on this only, but it's just it's one of those discoveries of the century, in my opinion, for people's health. Look at our country, how obese we are. I mean, how many people have sleep apnea? How many people have diabetes? How many people have fatty liver, renal failure? It's just, it's a good thing. Let's just put it that way.
Well, one thing I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, because when we talk a ton about, all the benefits of the Mounjaros, the semaglutides, the Ozempics, the GLP-1s. And, the question I'll see in our comments is, well, what are there any possible long-term negative effects? Those are all long-term, very positive effects. How do you answer that, especially with something that we don't know a ton,
Well, we do know a ton. We do know a ton. These things have been out for 10 years.
Okay.
And that's approved for 10 years. So they're probably studied for 10 years previous to that. So we do have fairly long-term data. And it's just the side effects I told you. They're good. Now, some people, I mean, there are a few people that have had pancreatitis with it or a bowel obstruction from severe constipation, um, but it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Again, you got to always um, weigh the risks versus the benefits. And for most people that I see walking down the street, the benefits are way worse than the risks. I was at one of our local concerts here that was packed. Who was playing that night? I think it was a pretty big band. Oh, Marshall Tucker Band was playing downtown, and there were thousands and thousands of people down there. If you know anything about our region that we live in a really unhealthy part of the country. And one of my friends saw me and they told me I should have an Ozempic tent set up in that crowd, which I kind of laughed at. Thought, yeah, probably could.
That's funny. No, I love this topic, Mark, and thank you for putting this in there. And
Mark
it
does the
really,
research. He knows what he's doing.
it it really is. You're making some. You've said that from the beginning that this is one of the best things that what'd you say, drug of the century?
That's what I say. Yeah. I mean, again, it just makes up for that GLP-1, which is a natural gut hormone in your body should be putting out. It's just not putting out enough of it.
I'm gonna put this up here from Edna because we hear this too. Like, Ozempic made me sick, and you do the
Yeah.
side
There's
effect is
people that can't tolerate it. Most people get over it, but if Ozempic made you sick, you need to try the Mounjaro. Way less side effects on Mounjaro and twice the weight loss. Way better. I hate to say that for my Ozempic reps that call me are so nice, but we just had better, we've had better results, and you can look at the trials. It's just a better drug. Mounjaro is. The folks at Novo Nordisk, believe me, they'll come up with something even better than Mounjaro, which Lilly makes. But yeah,
interesting.
some people can't tolerate it, but I suggest you might try the other one.
I'm gonna put
if you need it,
Yeah. Did you know this?
Yeah, Lipitor. I did hear that. Lipitor was the number one all-time sales leader, and thank God something's finally passed it up because I'm not one that prescribes a lot of Lipitor. Yeah,
That's interesting. Thank you, Mark, for putting that in there. I want to get to Debbie. Sorry, Debbie. I should have gotten this at the beginning. Debbie's on her way to the UK from Australia. Any tips for long haul flights as a type 1 diabetic? PS, love berberine at half my insulin dose. That's incredible.
that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I wish Andy was on here. Andy did the last couple.
Yeah.
Andy just got back from a trip to Scotland and England, France. If you're on a pump, here's something Andy does and Kelly does too. She travels a lot. They get off their pump. Andy likes the Omnipod, but they get off their pump before they go and switch to shots in case their pump quits working. If you're on a pump, which are great, otherwise it's standard, always have some insulin with you. So, I'm sure you're on a CGM, and have a backup CGM in case things go a little haywire. Always have some glucose tablets and extra short-term and long-term forms of insulin in case your pump quits working, which it can do. You just don't want to take any chances. My kids will take their insulin in a little bag that's sealed, and they put a few ice cubes in it, and plus you can always ask the stewardess to put it, if you need it, in their refrigerator. If it's going to be an 18-hour flight like you took to Australia last Christmas, Ben, then you need something like that. But they understand pretty good about insulin, how important it is.
Debbie, does that help? That's incredible with the berberine. I'm gonna let us know, Debbie, if we need to.
We'll get Andy to email Andy too. If you have any specific questions, please email Andy.
Yeah, please.
He's an expert on this kind of thing.
Debbie, Andy at performancemedicine.net. And this is, I'm over on Instagram. Thank you guys for hanging out on Instagram. Coyote Ruiz. is made a comment. I've heard that microdosing GLP-1 is where a lot of the positive benefits are. I'm mentioning that because I see that a lot as well. So it's kind of you're very strategic around this, Doc.
Well, yeah, I've learned kind of what works and what doesn't. A lot of people think that they're going to take their Ozempic or Mounjaro, Wegovy, Zepbound, and lose the weight, then stop the medicine and keep it off. You won't. At least 95% of the time, you will gain a lot of weight back. And that's why a lot of these people with bariatric surgery are immediately going on the GLP-1 right after, because it helps maintain the weight loss. But the point is, what I've found out is my strategy is for those people who need this, who have prediabetes, insulin resistance, familial obesity, that type of thing, they need to work their dose up to the highest dose that they can tolerate or afford, and get their weight to where they want it, or their size. Weight's not as important as really belt size, in my opinion, but get it there and then slowly work the dose down to what we call microdosing, to stay on it forever. Just stay on it, on a small dose. That could mean taking, 0.25 every other week of the semaglutide, Ozempic, or 2.5 with the Mounjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide. But so there is a great strategy, but just don't think that you're going to lose the weight or cure your diabetes this way. This is a maintenance drug, kind of like a blood pressure pill would be, or diabetes medicine would be, or in some cases, cholesterol medicine would be. This is a maintenance drug for people, not a get rich quick scheme, lose weight quick scheme, and then Hollywood get off of it. I mean, there has to be some monitoring by somebody who knows what they're doing with this.
Lots of strategy around it. Thank you, Doc, for that, and thank you for the comment, Coyote Ruiz on Instagram. I want to make sure I see Dave. I'm going to get to Dave in just a second. Where are we at? Thank you, Dave, for being here, man. So good to see you. What causes toenail clubbing, and can it be related to heart or liver?
Dave can play guitar. Before you said, Dave is a guitar player.
I know this about Dave.
I mean, Dave's a phenomenal guitar player.
I kind of feel like we have like a group of really amazing musicians here. I include you in that group.
Well, I do. I'm not on that level, but thank you.
I love how that got a laugh out of Mom.
Yeah, she's a real musician. She makes fun of my practice sessions. But clubbing, I'm probably I notice more clubbing on the fingernails than I do the toenails, because I'm looking at them more on the patients. But certainly, you can see some of this. A great person that will be able to tell you that would be Brittany Miller, our PA in Johnson City, who worked podiatry for 8 years. She's amazing on anything feet or nail related. But certainly it could. A lot of times you see clubbing. It could mean, a lot of people with COPD have clubbing. They're not getting enough oxygen that can cause that. But there's a lot of different forms of nail abnormalities, like indentation, striping. Some of it can mean a vitamin deficiency or an iron deficiency. So yeah, if your fingernails but your toenails aren't, it may be you've worn your shoes too tight for many years or something like that. So there's a little bit of a difference, but great question. So it could. It usually, heart failure, you can see clubbing on the fingernails for that. I don't see it so much on the feet. Liver issues, maybe liver or kidney. But again, when you get a CMP, you're checking out all your liver and kidney blood tests right there with a $10, $15 test. So, which should be done, the CBC should be done yearly on everybody, I think, just to pick up on things. But probably not, Dave. Probably not. I'll look at them next time we get together. I'll look at your fingernails too.
Well,
I'll make sure your calluses are real thick too. You probably have really good calluses on the tips of your fingers.
This is probably going to be a dumb question, but what is clubbing? Is that when the nail is bending over?
Club, yeah. Looks
Okay.
like it's just bent abnormally.
You know what? I'm going to write that down, Dave, and because we did a recent episode with Brittany on fungal toenails, but we didn't talk about toenail clubbing. So I'm gonna take note of that because that's a great question. Like nail health as it relates to like your overall health.
Yeah, great question.
Thank you, Dave. Lynn K is asking, brother has moderate COPD. Anything natural to help boost breathing? He's really active, but over 70. He's tired of using inhalers. That's an interesting question. What's your
Well,
thoughts
he
on
may
that?
need inhalers, but you know what I'm going to say, don't you? What am I going to recommend here?
I'm going to say, hold on. Moderate, anything natural to help boost breathing. My gut says LDN.
No.
Methylene blue.
Yeah, methylene blue. Yeah,
dang it.
Methylene blue.
It had to be either LDN. People who are with us each week has to be methylene blue or LDN.
Yeah, we use both those for a lot of outside the box things, but yeah, methylene blue is great. Some people like glutathione for that as well, which is the natural. It's hard to get absorbed. You need to get a liposomal glutathione. But yeah, breathing exercises help. Avoiding toxins. I like to drink hydrogenated water. I think that helps both those things. I have, you could even try something like Circ O2, which is increases your nitric oxide. We have Circ O2 in the offices, which is a little over the counter pill. And you could try some of the, two boosters like L-arginine, L-citrulline, beetroot juice. Those are things that I would do, but I always have a rescue inhaler around if you need it.
Yeah.
Singulair may help. Maybe not.
Methylene blue, I'm seeing in the comments, because you did, I think you mentioned it around helping with breathing and one of those podcast episodes we've done too.
Yeah, fatigue.
Yeah. Let's get this from Tom here. Did a bunch of box squats to get over pneumonia. What does Doc think of that? I believe Tom did this. I know Tom's a huge lifter here.
I love it. When you get sick, that's really impressive. That's almost like pulmonary exercises right there. I like it.
Yeah.
I think, when you get sick, some people do better when they work out and sweat a lot and kind of bust through it themselves.
So
you got to be careful with that. Not everybody can do that.
You
have to have a good baseline to do that. So if you're not used to doing it, I wouldn't start doing it. But if that's part of your routine, carry it on and see how you do with that.
Tom, we love you, man. Thank you so much for that question. Guys, before the show, I was talking to Doc and he was a little nervous because he hasn't been on in a couple weeks. He was like, I'm going to be rusty. I'm not going to be on my game like I normally am. How do you guys think Doc did? Give us I think Roel gave him a 10, first week back.
Roel's too nice. He's too nice. But yeah. Andy's way better than me. So
Andy was incredible.
I'm going to get him on here once a
month,
a routine once a month.
He'll be here once a month. Doc, you did awesome, man.
The more I age, the more I'll get him on here.
Matt's giving you, there we go. Thank you, Matt. Giving you a 10. I love it.
Thank you, Matt.
I love it. Cherry's giving you a 10. I think you did amazing. Ivy, and I think Ivy mentioned here, if you guys, IVs in JC, go to Ivy.
Ivy's amazing.
I love
Ivy's
it.
amazing.
Hey, I want to put this up from Roel because this is one for Katie to see as well. Circ O10 will be on our website. We don't have it on there right now. So Circ O2.
We need to put the IVs on there too in the Circ O2.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you. but he was the star of the show. Amber, thank you. So good to see you, Amber. Thank you, DPC.
No, Ben, there's no doubt you're the star of the show. You make the show go.
That's no way. No
I
way.
just answer a few questions if I possibly can, but you're the one that ties it all together. If we could give you a big round of applause, we'd do it, but nobody would hear it. I would applaud you.
As long as Izzy and I, people haven't seen Izzy and Ike, by the way. As long as they,
I don't know where they are.
Are they coming out tonight?
We have 4 dogs here. We have Annie and Kelly's dogs here too. There's Ike.
Todd was on there for a minute.
All right. Come here. Good boy, he's limping. Okay, here's Ike.
Ikey, what's going on, brother? There he is. There he
is. Ike is a sweetheart.
Look at Ike. Look
He's
at
a sweet dog.
He is a sweet, sweet dog. Thank you, Carter. He did great. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, Sherry.
All right. Todd, you want to come up? Todd's too skittish.
Guys,
it's been fun. Thank you so much.
It's been
I'm going to go watch the Olympics. Okay.
Go USA. Let's get some gold. Guys, we love you. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Carter. We love you guys. Thank you to everyone on our team that's been with us tonight. Jasmine was on here. Amber's in here. Robin, Ivy. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Thank you for all the amazing work y'all are doing in the office. God, all the offices are just doing absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much. Doc, I love you, man.
Love you, Ben.
Thanks, man. I'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Where's my outro, Brad? Come on, Brad. Put it in there, Brad.
Don't go away.